In the 2 weeks that we've seen since the news broke that the Acolyte has been canceled, it's been really interesting to see the reaction. Of course, on social media, you've got the fans of the Acolyte, the handful of fans that actually do exist for this show. They have not been very happy, and they've been trying to blame it on everything in the world other than reality, which is that nobody tuned in. Nobody really was interested in watch this show. And the people that did give it a chance, they fucking fled immediately because they didn't like it. And we heard just before the weekend, the star Amanda Stenberg and her 8-minute discussion on Instagram about it. And did she acknowledge the poor viewership? Did she acknowledge the vast majority of people didn't like it? No, instead, she once again tried to gaslight everyone into believing that the reason this show failed, the reason it wasn't successful, was because of the alt-right, by hyper-conservative bigotry. And she's not surprised that it got canceled. And I thought it was interesting because it sounded like she had no hope of it being renewed. She was very, resigned to the fact that this shit's over. But apparently, Jeremy, one star of the Acolyte, is not giving up hope. He is not going to be... he's not going to be stopped. This is his life's goal now, is to continue the Acolyte, and that is Manny Jacinto.
Let's go!
Manny Jacinto's comment about the Acolyte Season 2 will break Star Wars fans' hearts. I don't know about that. It might break Collider readers' hearts. I don't think it's going to break Star Wars fans' hearts. Manny Jacinto was at Dragon Con over the weekend and was asked specifically about, some goals that he would want to achieve in life. This is what he said.
A goal of mine to achieve? Yeah. Something else that you want to make sure you do before you leave this mortal coil. Season 2 of The Acolyte.
He's not giving up, Jeremy. Manny Jacinto is not giving up hope. He's trying to keep the Acolyte alive, and he's not going to stop. That is his one of his goals in life.
Oh, man. That is hilarious right there. I want to see more. Please, let's do it. Bring it back. We need the Acolyte Season 2. I love how you have people in the audience cheering. Most of them didn't even watch the show. Some of them probably did, for sure.
Well, listen, if this is a panel and people are going there to see Manny Jacinto, there's a chance that a lot of people out there are fans of his. You know what I mean? That a lot of people that did watch the Acolyte, they might be there in the audience. But that's not consequential in the grand scheme of things, however. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I actually think he's a really good actor. I said, from what I saw from him in The Acolyte, I thought he was by far the best thing in The Acolyte. By far, his performance. He was really, really good. But ultimately, what you're going to see is the people, the 17 people that are on Twitter wanting this show to come back. They're going to hang on to this, and they're going to show that, there is a movement out there, Disney. There's a movement of the same people that are crying about racism and sexism, want this movie or this show to return. It's not coming back. Again, you have to understand, Disney didn't want to cancel this show. They didn't want to. There's not a bone in their body. It's not an executive of that company. There's not a single person that actively wanted to cancel this show. They had to, because it did not give a return on the investment that they put into it by a wide margin, apparently. We're talking next level, because they could have taken a small loss on this show and continued it on. They could not have taken the massive loss that this show gave them. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's just simple business. It's really that simple. It's business, and it did not turn a profit at all. It's not coming back. Just like you're not getting Ezra Miller's Flash, the next Ezra Miller Flash movie, you're not getting it. Not happening. Nobody cares about this universe. Nobody. It's over.
I think that when you do look, I was 50-50 on whether this thing was going to get renewed, right? That was
at
my
time. Yeah,
that was my idea. After the finale and after we saw the poor viewership, I was 50-50 because no one in their right mind should have renewed the Acolyte. But this is also Disney. This is also Lucasfilm, who oftentimes are making decisions that are not solely based on the bottom line, that sometimes are based in the message and what agenda they want to put and what they want to be able to brag about. So I was 50-50 whether this thing would get canceled or not. I think Lucasfilm is full of some of the people that have made the dumbest possible decisions imaginable. But Manny Jacinto not giving up hope that the Acolyte could come back. I feel like that is a stark difference from the way Amanda Stenberg, her reaction to it. It didn't feel like there was any hope at all. It was pretty much, yeah, So it's been canceled, and I'm not even surprised that it's been canceled because of all you racists out there.
Yeah, imagine if she would have came out with a video and said, hey guys, just want to talk about, the announcement of the Acolyte season 2. Obviously, I'm sad. Really appreciate all the fans that have rallied around us and, embraced us. And I think that if we can mobilize together in a positive fashion and just let Disney know that we would like to see this season return. Maybe we can make some noise. Maybe we can do something out there. But it's really just going to come down to if they see a reason from a business standpoint to bring the show back. And so maybe there's an opportunity there. But if that never happens, I'm really thankful for all the opportunities I had, yada, yada, yada. Imagine the reaction to something like that. Now, his reaction, look, he's working the room.
Yeah.
As a streamer, I can appreciate that. As a Trump fan, I can appreciate that. He's working the room. There's nothing wrong with working the room that you're in. And he didn't say anything disrespectful about the audience. He goes, well, if we could get rid of all those racists, we could get Acolyte season 2 back. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he said. There's nothing, it's not going to happen, but there's nothing wrong with what he said ultimately. Playing to the crowd is okay. And he did just that. And he is the best part of the show, in my opinion. Do you think he was the best part?
I thought he was good in it in terms of the performance he gave. I did like when he switched between the kind of mewling assistant type of personality and his like chimera personality, kind of like on a whim when he saw OSHA or May or whoever, I forget. I thought he gave a fine performance. I think Amanda Stenberg gave a horrific. Rebecca Henderson gave a horrific performance. I thought Soul, the actor who played Soul, I actually thought he was one of the best parts in terms of him being able to emote something, even though he can't fucking speak English.
I couldn't stand him. I thought he was terrible. I
actually think he had gave one of the best acting performances. But the problem for all of these characters, it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Denzel Washington in there, given the performance of his life. The writing was so awful that it's hard to appreciate some of those things. Because like some of the things that Soul does makes no fucking sense. Some of the things that Chimera does and some of his dialogue makes no fucking sense. So it really, takes some shit away from any performance he was giving if what they're talking about is nonsensical.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I didn't think Soul's performance was as good as you and a few others think.